What's up friends, welcome to this channel. This is your friend, Antonio Ramirez Bogantes speaking. I invite you to stay and watch the whole video from start to finish, because I promise you that we bring valuable information for you. The video, How Can I Improve My Personal Finances, being a trendy topic in the economy of our households and the way to find a solution to our financial problems. For this, we will give you 5 tips that will help us improve what we are doing wrong. Join us. As the first point, we must establish financial goals to improve personal finances. Without clear and achievable goals, it's easy to lose your way and not know if you're making progress or not. By setting financial goals, you have a clear objective in mind and can measure progress towards that goal. Common financial goals include saving for a trip, paying off debt, saving for retirement, buying a house or car, and establishing an emergency fund. Each person has their own goals and priorities, so it's important to set goals that are important to yourself and are achievable. To set financial goals, it's important to be specific and have a deadline for achieving them. For example, instead of simply saying I want to save more money, you can set the goal of I want to save $10,000 in 12 months for a dream trip. This goal is specific, measurable, and has a deadline. Additionally, it's important to break down long-term goals into smaller, achievable short-term goals. This will help keep focus and see progress towards the final goal. For example, if the goal is to save $10,000 in 12 months, you can set monthly goals to save a certain amount of money each month to reach the final goal. It is also important to be realistic with financial goals and to be aware of current financial limits. By setting unrealistic goals, it is easy to become discouraged and lose interest in achieving them. In summary, setting clear and achievable financial goals is essential for improving personal finances. By having a goal in mind and measuring progress towards that goal, you can set a plan of action to reach those goals and improve personal finances. As the second point, controlling expenses is one of the main strategies for improving personal finances. Unnecessary expenses can negatively affect finances and make it difficult to reach financial goals. However, by controlling expenses, you can reduce expenses and save money to reach financial goals. One of the best ways to control expenses is through the use of a budget. A budget is a detailed plan of income and expenses, and helps identify unnecessary expenses. By creating a budget, you can set limits for expenses and make sure you're spending according to financial goals. In addition to controlling expenses through a budget, there are other ways to reduce expenses. One of the most effective ways is to cancel unused subscriptions, whether it's subscription services, memberships, or cable television services, and if necessary, cancel the landline if there's no one at home. Another way to reduce expenses is to cook at home, which can save money on food or simply a coffee, you decide. Before continuing with the third point, if you are enjoying this material, I invite you to subscribe, share the video with your friends, give it a like, and turn on the bell so you can receive similar material. As the third point, saving money is essential for improving personal finances and reaching financial goals. Saving allows for an emergency fund for unexpected situations, paying off debt and reaching long-term goals like retirement or buying a house. There are several ways to save money, such as opening a savings account at a bank, investing in a mutual fund or retirement plan. It's important to research different options and choose the one that best fits your goals and personal preferences. In addition to choosing the right form of saving, it's important to set a fixed percentage of income to save. This will help ensure that a specific amount of money is saved each month. It's also recommended to look for deals and discounts when buying goods and services, as this can help save money in the long term. Another way to save money is to reevaluate and reduce unnecessary expenses. This allows you to save money in the short term and have more money available to save. In summary, saving money is essential for improving personal finances and reaching financial goals. It's important to choose the right form of saving, set a fixed percentage of income to save, and look for deals and discounts to save money in the long term. As the fourth point, reducing debt is essential for improving personal finances, as debt can negatively affect finances and make it difficult to reach financial goals. However, by reducing debt, financial resources can be freed up to save money and reach financial goals. One of the most effective ways to reduce debt is to pay more than the minimum payment. Paying more than the minimum payment helps to reduce the debt balance faster and save money on interest. Consolidating debt into one loan with a lower interest rate can also be considered, which can help reduce the monthly payment. In addition, it's important to be aware of expenses and reduce unnecessary expenses to have more money available for paying off debt. It's important to set up a payment plan and follow it, to reduce debt in a sustainable way. It's also important to set up a plan to avoid falling into debt again. This includes setting a budget, controlling expenses, and setting clear and achievable financial goals. It's also recommended to establish an emergency fund to handle unforeseen situations without having to resort to credit. In summary, reducing debt is essential for improving personal finances and reaching financial goals. Paying more than the minimum payment, consolidating debt, reducing unnecessary expenses and setting up a plan to avoid falling into debt again are effective strategies for reducing debt. As the fifth point, credit cards can be a very useful tool for managing our finances, but they can also be a trap if not used properly. It's important to remember that when we use a credit card, we are taking a loan and will have to pay back the money with interest. That's why it's essential that we always pay on time and avoid credit payments as much as possible. Paying on time is essential to avoid interest and penalty charges. Making sure to pay the full debt every month is a good practice, as this will allow us to avoid compound interest and debt. If we can't pay the full debt, it's important to pay at least the minimum required amount. This will help us avoid late payment charges and maintain a good credit history. On the other hand, it's important to keep in mind that, if we always pay in cash, we will avoid unnecessary use of credit and we can save money on interest. It's important to set a budget and try not to spend more than we can afford. If we follow these tips, we can use credit cards responsibly and avoid financial problems. In summary, the proper use of credit cards involves paying on time, avoiding debt, and trying to pay in cash. By following these tips, we can manage our finances efficiently and avoid financial problems. To conclude, improving personal finances is essential for achieving financial goals and achieving a stable and secure financial life. One effective way to improve personal finances is through the establishment of clear and achievable financial goals, controlling expenses, saving money, and reducing debt. Therefore, first and foremost, setting financial goals is essential in order to have a clear objective in mind and measure progress towards that goal. It is important to be specific and have a deadline for achieving financial goals, and to divide them into smaller, more achievable short-term goals. Secondly, controlling expenses is essential for reducing unnecessary expenses and saving money. One of the best ways to control expenses is through the use of a budget, which helps to identify unnecessary expenses and set limits for expenses. Thirdly, saving money is essential for having an emergency fund, paying off debts, and achieving long-term goals. It is important to choose the right savings form, set a fixed percentage of income for saving, and look for deals and discounts. Finally, reducing debt is essential for freeing up financial resources and achieving financial goals. Paying more than the minimum payment, consolidating debt, reducing unnecessary expenses, and setting a plan to avoid falling into debt again. By following these tips, you will achieve greater financial stability and reach your desired goals in the future. We have reached this video tutorial. Thank you for allowing us to enter your homes, workplaces, or study centers, among others. We feel very honored to have your audience. In addition, we appreciate that if this video has been useful to you, at least to review some concepts, or if you consider that this material can serve other people, just like you, dear audience, we invite you to share it on your social networks, family, neighbors, friends, colleagues, where we are always very committed to making material on such an important topic as personal finance, and if you liked it, we invite you to subscribe to receive more similar material to what we are presenting today. It's free. And activate the bell so you'll be the first to receive our material. Without further ado, we say goodbye until a new delivery. Have a good one. See you soon.